Welcome to EJH British Cars. So it's time to start setting up the carburetors on the manifold and putting all the throttle linkage together and the choke linkages, and just sort of button it all up and to go over a little bit of some common mistakes. Anyway, let's get started. So this is the throttle linkage. We put the gas pedal together a month ago. The first common mistake is that people think to disconnect this rod from that lever, you just pop it off the ball joint, and that is not correct. What you're supposed to do is undo that nut out of this thing, because these things are not really designed to come apart and go together again. So you can take them apart because they're spring loaded, but to put them back together again, it's easiest in a vise, so it's not so easy on this one that's in the car. But you're going to have to hold that plunger back. You're going to have to screw this screw out as far as you can, and then put a little grease in there. It never hurts. So you have to hold that back with the screwdriver out of the way. Might be better to do it with a scratch awl or something, and then pop it in. It's a real pain in the butt. It's a lot easier just to undo that bolt. It's just I think it's a 3/8 and a lock washer, so it's easy enough once you're there. So this is the main throttle link, and it goes up to the front carburetor. It goes through this bell crank, and it goes on there with the bolt. So I'll go find the bolt, and we'll put that together. So it's just a 5/16 bolt, nice fresh lock washer, a little bit of Loctite. That goes on there like that. Not too crazy tight because that's just an aluminum. So I also took this bell crank off, and this shaft is a little worn. Not that it's highly critical, but it's nice to have a smooth feeling throttle. I put a little bit of shim stock in there, and of course some grease. And as you can see, that moves all quite readily now. There's also a spring that's going to go here. Like I just mentioned too, I'm not the person who took this all apart. Anyhow, but there's a small screwdriver in sideways to spread the pads apart. And put a little grease in it. You got to kind of get that started, you know, and this is why it sucks. A little grease in there, get that started, get that out of the way, and then hopefully you can draw it in. It's not easy to do. So it's pretty easy to get turned around with these linkages, so it's really handy to have the factory manual. It shows you an exploded view of this whole line, so which way these go and which way that goes and all that. I want to mount the rear carburetor first because that's what I like to do, and make sure that this is clean. You've removed any rags that were in there, and then it gets a gasket. A spacer, and we'll make sure that's clean too. And then another gasket. And we're going to mount the carburetor. Don't forget that the rear carburetor's got just a regular choke setup, and the front carburetor's got the long arm that catches the cable coming in this way. And then we need a couple of washers and a couple of nuts. And I'm going to put a little Loctite on them. You want to get both of these started before you pull any of them down, because sometimes you got to slide the carburetor out a little bit to clear the protrusions and get the nut in there. I like to mount these so that the nuts are facing up, so they're readily accessed. If you look, the heads lock in to these metal clamps because there's a little notch there for them to fall into. So you want to be able to get them, and you want to get this one on just about flush, because otherwise the other carburetor is not going to slide by. The joint between the two bars is centered on this central curl, and on this one that it's almost running into the stop for the spring retainer for the throttle return. So you want to keep them so they don't interfere with each other, because you may want to adjust that other spring for more or less tension. You want to be able to turn it. So just snug those up. They don't have to be very tight. They will break very, very easily. And then it's going to want to be more like that. I want to tighten this down yet because we want to adjust this so that it's like a 1/16 of an inch off of the filter element of the air cleaner. And we'll do that a little bit later. So I need to go get the other carburetor ready and get that one bolted on, which will be much the same as this, but it goes on this side. Bolted the other carburetor on, and here's the other flux coupling. And you see that that shaft is about 1/8 of an inch of clearance. And we just center that right there. And just to look good, we'll try to match the angle of the other one and just snug that up. And we need to hook up the throttle linkage. So that goes to the rear. It's going to press over there. Probably need to open that up a little bit. And don't forget that's going to go up so that the up angle and the down angle are about the same, and you can adjust the length of this rod to adjust for that. You want to make sure that the pedal is all the way up. So I haven't got the spring on right now, but I did figure it out. I don't know how well you can see here, but there's a little tab right there with a hole in it, and that's one end of the spring. And then there's a hole here in the arm, and that's where the other end goes. And this spring actually has a squared end, and that's where that'll go. So that's the gas pedal all the way up, and you see that that's at about 45 degrees, so that's about right. I just need to slacken that off a little bit, and I'll slide a knife or something in there just to open that joint up a little bit. That's got it on there. And what I want to do is I'm going to take just the tiniest little bit of tension out of there. So I'm going to make sure that this closes all the way. They're not getting hung up on the throttle. So I got that set. I'm just going to take my screwdriver and tighten that nut up on the top there. And again, don't have to go crazy tight. You can hear the stops all hitting. And I've got the stops wound in all the way, so hopefully we'll probably need to wind the idle screws in, which are these two right here. That's an idle screw. That's an idle screw. You'll loosen up one of these clamps, balance the carburetors, and then after that's all tight, this is the fast idle screw. So that's against this arm, which run it against the choke linkage, moves that cam. So there's that funny down piece for the choke linkage. You can see how that moves all that. And there's the lower link in right there. Just have to adjust it to length so that the link isn't short and holding one of the chokes open a little bit. So that they just set one side, and then there's the adjustments on both sides. I need to tighten them up, but that won't take but a minute. So these old filters are pretty much gone, that they're deteriorating. See how the foam's just rolling up? I thought it was interesting. The ends of it are sewn together. So I suppose you could just glue these two ends, or if you got some thread and that needle left over from that leather skin kit for the steering wheel, you could use that. Bought some classic foam. This was from the Jungle website. So I was thinking I actually have a paper cutter, or the guillotine type, and I thought that might work well to cut that nice and straight. And I'll probably leave it just a tad thicker, wider than what this is, so it'll compress in a little bit. So I'm going to go play with that a little bit, and I'll show you what I come up with. So what I didn't realize was this foam was folded over once in the packaging, so it's plenty long. I cut it off a little bit wider, so I wanted to make sure it's snug in the holders, and this thing has shrunk a bit. So here's that. I used the guillotine here, cut it really nicely. So I'm going to cut it probably about 1/2 inch long. See how that fits? See how nice it cuts that? That's beautiful. And these are the cages from one of the filters. Let's see how that's going to fit in there. It actually fits pretty well. I do want to do up that end, but let's see how we do inserting the center. Oh yeah, no problems. Alright, so I'm going to take the needle and thread and sew those two ends together, and then we'll put all the joints facing down when we put it together. We're back in, I don't know, March or something. We put a wheel skin on, a black wheel skin. It came with black heavy thread and a needle, and that's just about the same size as the one we just took out of here. And this is just left over, so that's great. So the old one, they just loop through. Probably start here on the end so we can hide the knot. So the ones I took off, it's looped like that all the way around. So it goes from the top to about the middle. I'll put that through. And I tied a knot in the end of the double thread. And I just put that in like that. And that'll hold that nice and tight. And then I'll just work my way around here. Like so. Make sure you stay far enough back so you got enough foam to be strong. And I like to do, I don't know, a locking stitch, I think they call this. So you see it makes a nice one. So put it through, pick it up out of the other side, maybe a little bit deeper than that. But then you loop your thread over it like that, and it ties kind of a knot in it. And you get a nice square stitch like that, which is going to look a lot prettier. Well, hopefully it's going to be pretty invisible between being on the bottom and black thread on a black filter element. But it's also a much stronger stitch. Not that there's much stress on this. I mean, basically, you're really just sewing this end together so it's not sucking unfiltered air through the gap. There's not really much pressure on this thing, and the metal cage pretty much holds it together. But no reason not to have it look pretty. I'll just flip this inside out, do the other side. It's the same thing. Yeah, when I was in probably I suppose the second grade, I sat beside a girl who taught me how to sew. God only knows why she was sewing. I was interested. Never really thought I'd be sewing air cleaners here 60 years later. There we go. And we'll cut it off. And inside out again. And there we go. All sewn up, all pretty. There's the joint. There's a lap in this steel piece too somewhere. All right there. So we'll put the laps on the laps so we can point them all down. Put the inner cage in. And there it is, all ready to be put onto the car. I'm gonna polish that up a little bit, and I got a couple of stainless steel acorn nuts for there, and we'll be good to go. Don't forget there's a gasket that goes between this plate and the mouth of the carburetor, and the holes go up. These are actually vents. So those screws go through, and then just two nuts on the back and tighten them up. Tighten these up with a little Loctite and lock washers. Here's my seam facing down. Put that over. You'll notice there's a little bit of blue on the end of these studs, and that's Loctite because I don't want to put lock washers or anything on these little acorn nuts. And make sure that your metal cages fit inside that lip. It was hung up right there. And I just need a wrench that I don't have, but I just need to snug that down a little bit and then put that one together. And there they are, all installed. Nice shiny new air filters. The one thing I do need to do is I need to oil these like you would a K&N filter with air filter oil. Snugged up these little overflows so they're just off of the air cleaners. The only thing we haven't done is the choke cable, which will come out. I don't know how well you can see this. I don't know how well you can see this, but right there by my finger there's a grommet, and that's where it's going to come out. It'll run across, and the sheath will clamp into this the sheath will clamp into this piece right there, and then the wire will feed through the little hole there, and then there's a probably an 832 screw goes in there just to clamp the wire. And that I left that, it's a lock nut, so it's got just a little bit of slack so that it can rotate when this piece moves like that. Now, and I got the spring, I don't know how well you can see it through there, but the spring for the gas pedal return is right there. I can't really see this in the camera, but it's just stretched from that little tab that was on the bulkhead through the hole in the lever right there. Goes through the lever. This is the gas pedal. You can see that that's all nice and crisp. Of course, we'll have to loosen one of these clamps up when we balance the carburetors, but we got to get the car running first. The reason I can't run the choke cable is because the piece of metal panel that goes in for the dash that the gauges mount into is not installed in the car, so that's got to go in, and then the cable feeds through that grommet through there and trim the length and all that. And I couldn't see any point in hooking it up just to say it is. It's just a couple of bolts. You put the sheath through and tighten that down and tighten that little clamp up. So the last thing to do is put the fuel feed line in, and you can see I got it started there. So it's a red fiber washer on either side of the brass piece, and of course that bolt, the banjo bolt. But this looks like somebody monkeyed around with it and bent it to fit, because these things were mounted cockeyed before because they didn't have these straps in. So right now, if you look, that doesn't line up, but there's a huge wowie in here. So I'm going to straighten that out a little bit and get that to line up. After you've got the distance set, take this somewhere and put it against a flat edge. Make sure that these two edges are parallel and flat with each other, because a lot of times they're twisted a bit. So if one was at noon, the other one's at 5 past kind of thing. And that's a lot easier if you can hold these in a vise, and you definitely wrap these with rags before you put them in a vise so you don't muck up the mating surfaces. And then slacken off these a little bit so that they can rotate to make up any differences there are in that orientation. We came through well clear of the water here. They don't want heat in the gas. Then there's going to be a clip that goes here. I just don't have it yet. It's on backwater. Back through here, down there, turns 90. And then there's the outlet on the fuel pump. We'll bring a pipe up, and then just a little flex coupling in between. So the only thing we haven't done is the vacuum advance. And I think we'll do that when we put the distributor in. So the vacuum advance goes on. There's a fitting for it underneath here somewhere. It's just a 1/8 inch copper tubing with a olive on it. There's the point where it goes on right there, and it'll tie into the vacuum advance on the distributor. But we'll do that when we do the distributor. We haven't put that in yet. So what we still need to do, need to get a little piece of hard fuel line here so we can put a rubber coupling in between, just a few inches. And we also need to run the line from the fuel tank forward, and that comes into it's probably too dark to see, but there's the valve down there, and this braided line comes out of that valve. So that end's done. We just got to get the end with the pipe fitting in to that end. But that's another day. It's getting late. So pretty much done. Vacuum line and the choke cable.